Today's video, we find out an answer to a specific question. Why do Titans cut each other's heads off? I don't know if any of you ever thought about that or why you thought about that, but we won't talk about it. Let's just get right into the video.
Peeps in the comments section are currently accusing Goji of exploiting the gore factor for views and clicks. Would you guys believe that people get bothered by that?
Is he just casually holding
dude, can't handle a bit of red paint, bro? How about y'all chew on that?
Goji, chill out,
On
bro.
a serious note, though, as a
goodness.
Monsterverse fan who sees this image, this may ring a bell. You'll recall that this is just one example of the many beheadings that have occurred in the Monsterverse. Which begs the question, why do Titans cut each other's heads off?
You know, honestly, I never thought of it like that.
Today we'll bring forth three answers to this question,
factor.
the last two of which may completely redefine the way you understand Titans.
The last two,
to uncover the first reason why Titans cut each other's heads off,
apparently.
Let's try to really understand what happens during decapitation. By definition, this word means the total separation of the head from the body.
I don't think we need
this dramatic
full definition, but that's fine.
To be fatal to most
just in
animals
case you didn't know.
Due to two things. We'll use a human model so it's easy to understand.
I don't have to see it.
The central nervous system is now severed from the peripheral nervous system, meaning that your brain will no longer communicate with this part of the body.
Yeah, it's gone.
Oxygenated blood will no longer reach the brain, giving it just a few seconds to remain conscious before it passes out and dies.
It's still a few seconds?
Oh my. Most sensory organs, such as the eyes,
you would
ears,
still be
mouth,
alive
and
for
nose,
a few seconds.
or gills for some other organisms, would be damaged or completely parted from the main body.
That's
making
crazy.
Them useless.
Actually, didn't even know that.
So back to the Titans.
I thought it was just,
Turns out that many of these kaiju are vertebrates, and even the ones that are not seem to have a major central system cluster, aka
what is
the brain. With this knowledge, we can bring forth the very first reason why we've seen decapitations quite frequently in the Monsterverse. And that is simply that it's the most effective means of dispatching another living being.
I mean, that too.
You're here for a more disturbing answer. Which brings us to the second reason. Enjoying this video? This is a gentle reminder for you to subscribe.
Reminder,
and
if you
don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that you can have your name displayed at the end of the video, see videos days early, and take a sneak peek at some of our secret projects that we're cooking up behind the scenes.
I like it.
Now, admittedly, the fact that kaiju separate each other's central nervous system from their bodies to easily kill them still does not fully explain why they sometimes choose this method to kill other kaiju.
I mean,
in the real natural world, we do see examples of animal decapitation,
you know what I'm saying?
such as these deer whose antlers got stuck with each other, and in desperation to free themselves, one of them loses their head. Many felines, anywhere from free-roaming cats to lions, have been seen carrying severed heads of their victims around. These examples of decapitation occurred by mere coincidence or accident. Lions and other predators don't actively rip off the heads of their prey to carry them around as trophies, much less to humiliate them. But stepping back and looking at the majority of the fatalities that happen in the animal kingdom, almost none, if not very few, of these kills result in decapitation.
Very few.
Kaiju are a different story, though.
Kaiju,
it almost seems like these guys know what they're doing.
Oh, he's trying to do it, too.
In the last recorded 12 kaiju fatalities seen in the Monsterverse, a total of 7 of these involved injuries to the head. 5 of which involved decapitations. It's more than half. Not including the instances where Godzilla ripped off the left head at Isla de Mara, the time when Rodan was aiming to bite Mothra's head at Boston, and let's not forget this unlucky Kong specimen whose head seems to be parted from his body wherever it got left behind.
R.I.P. Kong.
The point is, at this point, it's clear that these decapitations are happening suspiciously too frequently, leaving us to think that kaiju are similar, in a way, to us. If these kaiju were intellectually similar to animals, these decapitations would happen
don't show me a live one, bro.
Not
I'm leaving,
only that, the behavior of these kaiju would be
I'm
different upon the moment of decapitation. Let us explain.
Yeah, explain a little.
If we take note of this decapitation, for instance, Kong lifted Mechagodzilla's head like a trophy. In the real world, no animals behave this way,
disrespectful.
but humans do. When Godzilla decapitated the female Muto, this guy not only chose a rather humiliating means of doing so, but also held on to the head, as if the act of doing so held some sort of significance. But perhaps the best example was Ghidorah's final decapitation.
That was a good one.
No animal in the animal kingdom
I was so
will take
hyped.
the time to place the severed neck in their mouth, violently slam it all over the place, and finish it off. But humans, we've come
reliving that
close.
moment. It's crazy.
Historically, records of the act of cutting heads off date back to the earlier records of civilization.
Oh,
And
please
over the
don't
years,
show us some
humanity
crazy
has gotten
nonsense, man.
Good, creative with it, with depictions of us not only figuring out
Okay,
that
these are
this
just
is
drawings.
the
These
quickest
are
way to
okay.
dispatch enemies, but
I'm not
also
mad at
taking
this.
pride in the taking of this body part to use as a trophy, humiliate the opponent, and use them as a means of setting an example to future opposition.
Yeah, that's pretty
Kaiju
wild.
decapitations
Back in the day,
seem to be quite similar.
we were nuts.
Back to
I don't know, we were
Ghidorah's
kinda crazy.
decapitation. This one was quite gruesome and completely unnecessary, with Godzilla repeatedly humiliating Ghidorah even after he was defeated.
It was unnecessary. He did
Similar
not
to the
have to do all
instance
that.
a long time ago
kinda
in
though, 'cause, you know, he can
655 BC
rejuvenate
when
maybe.
King Ashurbanipal
He wanted to make sure.
proceeded to slash and spit on the severed head of the defeated Elamite king.
Okay, that's
Again,
disrespectful.
we have to reiterate that these
That's
behaviors
utmost
are
disrespect.
not commonly seen in animals, but are acts almost exclusively committed by humans and kaiju in this cinematic universe. In the eyes of a
Look at
titan,
our boy
an adversary
Godzilla.
would be best dealt with quickly by disrupting the central nervous system. They are all pretty smart.
Ghidorah
They
looks
not
like
only know
such a
this, but
savage.
identify this
I love
body
the way
part
Monster
as the key
Zero is.
identifier of each titan.
Gets dominated,
thus
though.
treating it like a trophy
Shout out.
of sorts. There is no better body part to send a message to others than the head of another kaiju. But as
I mean,
we
that's
study
true.
this
If
behavior
I
in
saw
kaiju,
somebody's head on the
a common
ground,
denominator will begin to arise.
I'm either dipping or I'm
This
passing
act
out.
of decapitation has only been committed by alphas. That's right, not just any kaiju has been
that
ripping
makes
heads
sense.
out.
It's been
in
the
past
alphas.
instances where we have actively seen the heads get ripped off, we see that Godzilla and Kong have been the ones responsible. With Godzilla decapitating
I never really
Lamuto
noticed that
and
till just now.
repeatedly cutting off Ghidorah's heads, to Kong, who decapitated both a Warbat and Mechagodzilla in
And
the
he
same
ate the
film.
Warbat, by the way.
The common denominator is that
That's
these
just nasty.
two are alphas. Now, it will make
was
sense
eaten
for the current
when I saw
alpha
him
to
do that, too.
continuously cut off heads to make a statement, but Kong, apart from being an alpha himself, also belongs to a species whose social culture was similar to that of humans.
Hmm.
Instinctually, or just figuring that this particular body part serves as some sort of trophy
axe.
representing victory over a rival. But there could be more to this.
More?
We'd like to think that this behavior is not exclusive to just Godzilla and Kong, but also to other titans with the ability to also become the alpha. Who are we talking about?
that could be Ghidorah.
Back to Godzilla, King of the Monsters, we witnessed Rodan attempt to bite the head of Mothra 3 times before succumbing to her stinger, saving her life. Rodan at this point was
Okay.
not an alpha, but could have become the alpha had he defeated Ghidorah.
That's
Or
true.
if for whatever reason his challenge to Godzilla actually worked. Another titan that could give the current
Godzilla
alphas
was
a
not
good
about to-
run for their money would
He
be
was gonna tear
Titanus
Rodan up.
Tiamat, who is currently accused of killing off a Kong specimen who made its home in Godzilla's old
See, I
lair.
haven't seen that.
All that remains is a skull
I've never
with
read those
no
comics.
signs of the remaining skeletons,
I need
suggesting
to.
that maybe it was also decapitated, perhaps after he was killed. Whatever the case, it has become clear that these
Interesting.
kaiju have
Have
a
y'all ever
strange
read the
habit
Godzilla comics?
of parting the
They
heads
look
from
really
their
cool.
enemies' bodies, making it evident that these
That's
monsters
such
are
a good
not your
scene right
typical
there.
oversized animals. They are more than this. The world of Titans is a brutal world where only the strongest survive.
Ooh.
And when rebelling
that
or
his head?
daring to disrespect an alpha kaiju
Oh
will
my-
carry dire consequences.
They'll just do
In
the
the
thing,
upcoming
man.
film Godzilla x Kong, there
So
will
excited
be
for that,
many
by the way.
alphas involved, and we'll almost assuredly see some
Many
head
alphas.
injuries happen in this new film.
Godzilla
Both Kong
better not
and
get his head
Godzilla
taken
are
off, dude.
capable of delivering decapitating blows.
It's not gonna
More
happen,
so now that
right?
Kong is armed with an axe. Do you think we'll see another Titan-sized head get lopped off someone's shoulders
Probably,
again?
probably.
Or do you think decapitations have come to an end?
I don't think they've come to an end. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I think they've only just begun. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for watching with me. I love ya. Goodbye.